All right, as we see here, we got two bikes. What type of bikes are they? One is my old bike, one is my new bike. Which is which? Why am I making this video? Well, I'll tell you why. Well, like I said, this is gonna be a big man channel tech, and even though bikes are technically not tech, they are something I think big man should be aware about, especially if you ride. Like I'm very active, I ride. You might have seen some shorts of me riding, maybe not, maybe you have. But I had to get a new one. We'll go more into that, why I had to get a new one. But I wanted to make this video to talk about my experience so far. So let's get into it. This bike, Trek Ver 1. I think I got this bike a little, maybe around 2015 or 14. No, it couldn't have been that early. It had to be 2017 or 18. I got this bike. This is the Trek Ver 1. And as far as Treks go, it's actually probably more around the common bike. Like it's a super common bike. Nothing special or particular about it. It's probably their basic bike, to be perfectly honest. And there's nothing too much wrong with that in terms of the grand scheme of things. Now what's wrong with this bike? Why get another one, right? What's the point of getting another bike? Well, as I stated, I'm a bigger guy. And because this bike is kind of more basic and simple, it wasn't really designed to carry a guy like me. Like, it's not like you can't ride it, because you can, but that wasn't the design to carry somebody who's probably 350 pounds. So I put a lot of wear and tear on the bike over the years, because I'm still riding. Even to this day, I still rode the bike. I had to, my last ride, I went to work on it, and I kind of broke some stuff, unfortunately, and it really was like, I was trying to find a solution for me not going back and forth, because I've been doing this for like 3 or 4 seasons where I'm going back to the bike shop 3 or 4 times a season to fix the same stuff, because again, I'm putting a lot more pressure on the bike than somebody normally would. So let's first start off on why Trek. Well, when I first bought the bike, it was between that and Giant, and these are super light bikes, very compactable, easy to kind of put into even a car, which is what I had at the time. Well, I had a crossover, but it is the same thing as a car. And it was very easy to put it in, wheels easy to come off. So it was just like, it was one of those things where I was trying to upgrade a bike. I didn't want a Walmart bike or a Myers bike, which is kind of what you commonly see out there. I wanted a bike that was a little more durable. But when I got this bike, it is the basic bike. Like I said, very basic. It was probably the most basic one they had at the time. And I thought, you know what? I want to do this, do it right. So I bought the bike. I find myself constantly taking the bike back 2-3 times a season for essentially the same thing. Too heavy for the bike, so I put a lot of pressure on the spokes. They wind up breaking or loosening. I have to get it either tighten them myself or try to get new ones. And I was trying to get maybe a more tighter rim and bigger spokes that'll be able to handle the weight for the bike. But the price didn't really make sense to go and fix this bike, but I could probably get a brand new bike that has a lot of that stuff already on it for essentially almost the same price. So that brought me to where I am now. You know, I fixed this bike. I do plan on selling it on probably Facebook Marketplace or something like that. Selling it, letting somebody else have fun with it. It is an extra large bike, so that might be a little difficult because unfortunately, most people can't ride a, like I had a friend who tried to get on it. He couldn't touch the ground when he got on it. You know, shout out to him. He know who he is, but yeah, that's not designed for him. So where I'm at now, where I'm going to tell you about the other bike I got, and I'm going to try to go over my first impression of the bike. And then, you know, later on we'll sit down and we'll probably go over more streamline of what I thought of the bike, if I had to do anything, what's my adjustment, and is it worth what I pay for it due to me being a big man? Do I think I'm going to wear it out faster? Can I see some of those improvement, right? All right, and here we got the Trek Dual Sport 3. This is the Gen 5 edition 2024, and this is kind of how it looks. Looks a little bit better. There are some differences that you probably won't be able to see just in this circle of me just kind of doing a circle of the bike that we can kind of go over, right? All right, so what's new about the bike, right? Or what's different from the bike I got? The bike I have, chain is a 3 gear. It's a 1 gear now on this one. And on the rest of the gears, which is 10, are all in the back. So instead of having 3 and 7, which make it a 21 speed, this is officially a 10-speed bike, which is a little bit different than what I'm used to. It only has 1 gear and not several of them. So nothing on that side, just a 1 gear on his side. You know, back for basic stuff. As you can see, I got my light for nighttime, my mount for my GoPro or action cam, whatever I have like that. I still have my springy seat here to help with bounces and things of that nature. This is a fork style, not a shock. I did think about getting a shock, but I wound up not. I wound up looking and seeing which one would kind of be better. On this one, the wheels are a lot thicker. The spokes are a tad, maybe a tad thick, but they're not too different. The rim is for surely different. The rim is thicker. And on this one, I am using disc brakes. If you can see, I am using disc brakes right there. So it's a lot different than what's on the other one, which is pad brakes. I know I didn't get a lot of detail or a lot of like close up like I did with this one, but this one is so much more interesting to me. The kickstand is on the back instead of in the middle, which you would kind of normally see on more traditional bikes. And so I've been kind of enjoying that. All right, so that was a quick kind of just overall view of the bike. I did go for like a quick 5-mile ride. It rode pretty good. I didn't have any problems with it. I think I'm gonna have to take it back to the bike shop to get the disc brake just a tad adjusted because I can hear some clicking noise. But not too bad because they might be adjusted for, again, a more normal sized person, and clearly I'm bigger than that. Which, okay, I'm fine with. That's the whole reason I made this channel. I want to see things from the big man, perspective, and share that perspective with other people who might follow. Just because you big don't mean you don't work out. We need videos like that too. I have some other interesting videos coming up. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do them, but hopefully they hit the channel very soon. All right, so we'll go for a ride. You'll probably see me talking, maybe get a little insight while I'm on the ride, and then we'll come back and we'll do our final thoughts after a while. So I'll probably be in a whole different attire because I'm going to ride the bike a couple extra times to kind of get a real feel for it, to figure out, you know, if what I'm impressed by is what's right here. And we'll get a price at the end, because I'm not going to say it now, but we'll get a price at the end. Down, just doing a little cruising speed. See how things feel. Hit a couple bumps. See how the bike react. Yeah, I see people be trying to swerve and hit me. Sidewalk looking bad, so I can't take that right now. This is probably my 3rd time actually riding, even though I haven't recorded. I wanted a couple sessions with no cameras or anything like that, so that way I can get a good feel for the bike first. Break it in just a tad bit, just because a brand new bike might not be a good description to give for a bike. When you break it in a bike, sometimes you gotta loosen those brakes, hit those pedals, get everything a little worn. Just a requirement of the job. All right, at a stop sign, crossing my first major street. We're gonna definitely wait for the green. Start up. Yeah, nice start up. Bike lane riding, official bike lane. Wasn't bad for a startup. Not bad at all. Nice bumpy road. Let's see what we get. Come on, man. Go. Yeah, you gotta fight with the cars on this road, man. Be like that. Bumpy. This is probably more of a good, better test for the Osmo. But getting into the inner city, for sure. I actually got to speed up because I'm actually on a good street. Let's go. In the city, riding the bike lane. We'll do another test. So let's see. Took me about 2 seconds to stop. A lot of drag on the back wheel. Not bad. Just another stop test. You gotta do those, man. You gotta know what your bike capable of. I mean, still stay safe while doing it, but perform the test. It's all part of testing bikes, its brakes, its limitations, all that's necessary. My ride has been pretty good. I've done 10 miles. It's been a pretty good, decent ride. Hitting some bumps, never really felt nothing. But I guess in fairness to the bike, I do have a shock absorbing seat on top of that. You know, I gotta have all the precautions in place just in case. Try to keep it nice and easy as possible, but got some rough moments as well. Hitting a lot of speed bumps. That's how it is in the city. Let's get back to the rest of this review of this bike with MrSsxtrixy in the studio. And we're back. I am back from my ride. Well, actually, I've been back from my ride. It's been a couple days later, rode a couple extra times, kind of get more feel for the bike. And I have to say, let's just address a couple things that were in the video. You might have heard some like clacking as I was pedaling. That was not from the actual like pedal gear. That's from me missing the pedal, like literally pedaling so fast where I'm like missing the pedal. That was my fault. That had nothing to do with the bike. Second thing, I talked about the disc brakes and like how it little squeaking, and it really was just a tightening issue where they changed the tightness, especially when you put more pressure on it. So that's all that was. That got resolved. Even though it's not a video for them, shout out to DJI. I was using the Osmo Action 4 and the DJI Mic 2, and they were really good. There were even a part where I kind of left in the sound from the Osmo Action and then converting over to the DJI. And you can like hear the difference. Those cars are way softer. They're not as aggressive because I was there. It was way more. I had my headphones on, and even with my headphones on, I turned in ambient mode, and those cars are just way more aggressive than you probably would have thought. Okay, so not a lot of negative. It's a bike. I don't think there's a lot to really necessarily say, especially the Trek bike with the build quality. All that stuff was great. I didn't really have a problem with all that. It's just I have to put it in perspective of like a big guy. So I gotta make. If I'm saying build quality, I'm like, you know, it gotta see. We gotta see test of time. We'll make a short, probably maybe towards the end of the season to go. How is the bike doing now? All right, so I would probably rate the bike and just in terms of bikes, maybe a 7 out of 10. Although that gear system is like a 10-speed system with one thing, I don't know if I really like that. I kind of like the versatile of having 3 gears in the front and like 7 in the back. With this one, everything is in the back. I feel like I got a little more closer to how I would like to pedal on my old bike. So that's just me. So that's 7 out of 10, which is a good score. I feel like that's a great score for a bike in terms of, especially well for a Trek bike, not just any old regular bike. Okay, let's talk price. I paid $1,000 for this bike. Yes, $1,000 for a bicycle. There was a good reason. When I explained in the video, when I first bought the bike, it was just basic. And now that I have a more handle on how much I ride, what I'm doing with it, I've kind of like, okay, I would like certain needs to be met. And that means buying a bike that's going to be more comparable to how I ride, which is for the most part city, but I also go do a couple trails on the weekend if I had the time. So I had to buy something more close to that. And I have to still keep in mind that I have to buy something that's more durable in terms of the frame and certain areas. But again, I wind up going with Fort because it seemed to be a little more stronger from what I can see and what I did research on. All right, now for the big part of the video, the main reason why I do this type of stuff. Does this bike get the big fella stamp of approval? This is not tech, so I don't want to say big fella tech stamp of approval because it's a bike. I know what they call some of the stuff they do in there technology, like, oh, this new technology we're using, but that's more like how they create it and all that stuff. That's not necessarily technology in the bike. Not this bike anyway. I know electric bikes have that, but this is not one of those. It gets the big fella stamp of approval. But wait. So if you're buying the Trek Dual Sport 3 5th generation 2024, I know that's a lot to say, it's a handful, but I have to say that specific model because that's what I'm testing in terms of big people buying. And clearly, if you're small, large, you buy the size that you can work with. Mine is an extra large because I'm a tall guy, so I need a bike that's going to be easier for me to ride, and an extra large usually fits that description. So in terms of that bike right there, I'm giving that the stamp of approval. Granted, I do think the other ones are great bikes. They look really good, but I I haven't rode them nor have I reviewed them, so I don't want to give the whole lineup just a stamp of approval. But this particular one did very well. I didn't have any issue with it. The one issue I had nothing to do with the bike itself. It was just the issue of how it was configured versus the person who bought it. So that was nothing. So this was fun. I like doing stuff like this. I ride the bike. This is not just a video. I really do ride these bikes. I really do this stuff. Try to like do it weekly, actually. It's pretty fun. The video is fun. I hope you guys had a great time watching it. Let me know below what you would like to see next. Comment if you have any questions or if you just have something stupid you want to say. Like, I think somebody in one of my comments said, that guy got crusty lips. Like, all right, cool. It is what it is. It's the comment section. You're allowed to say whatever you want to say. Well, for the most part. Not anything you want to say, but it's pretty out there for the most part. But until next time, I will see y'all later. Check them shorts, man. There's going to be some bike videos in them shorts. I promise you. Peace.